statements expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of WWDB, its staff, or management.
You are listening to In the Know with David O. Informative, substantive, intelligent talk radio on 860 AM WWDB. And now, your host, Philadelphia Councilman David O.
Good afternoon. This is David O. Thank you for joining me once again, Tuesday 2 to 3 here at WWDB AM 860. Well, we have got a great show for you. We are going to be talking to Philadelphia's District Attorney, Kelly Hodge. She is the new DA. She has got a mighty task ahead of her. She has got a time limit on her. What is she going to do? How is she going to make a difference? Well, she's here to let us know. And then we're going to hear from a bright young lady, a rising star, Natalie Bermudez. She is the 2015 winner of PHL Live Center Stage Pop Music category. And she'll be here. We'll hear a little bit of her cover, and then she'll play one of her songs for us live. And Rock to the Future. Have you ever heard of them? Well, they are a wonderful organization. They provide music education as a way of igniting youth. Not just in music, but in education and aspiration. They deal with underserved children, and these kids don't need to pay 1 cent. You know, music instruments, music instruction, after-school program, all that provided for them through Jessica and Josh Kraft, who are with us today. First, let me thank our show sponsor, Weiner and Pain and Wellness. I hope some of you know that by now. My staff can kind of repeat the commercial for me now because they do such a wonderful job in ensuring that those who are injured can be rehabilitated to the best of any professional's ability, and hopefully so, a mending of the body includes a mending of the mind and the spirit. And to all the show sponsors. If you'll recall, last week we were talking to Ed Rendell, the former governor and former mayor of Philadelphia, governor of Pennsylvania, and we were talking about the outlook for our region, not just Philadelphia, but the surrounding areas, which is our region. We're all connected together. What's good for Philadelphia is good for Bucks County, Chester County, Montgomery, Delaware, even Camden County. We really have to start looking at each other as partners in our region. And then we talked to Alita Anderson. She's the executive producer of Miss Black America. The pageant was just this past weekend. Congratulations to Brittany Lewis. She is Miss Black America 2017. Just a really amazing person, as were all the finalists. Just a very talented, capable women. And the legacy continues. Next year will be the 50th anniversary. You'll probably recall that the reason this pageant was founded because in 1968, African American women were not allowed to participate in Miss America, and therefore J. Morris Anderson came up with Miss Black America and held it right across the street from Miss America. Anyway, that's how the story goes. Well, let me basically say that we have a lot of events coming up. Some of them I'd like to tell you about. The first is that September the 28th of this year, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. If you're a filmmaker, please come to this event. It's free. It's the Black Film Advisory Committee, and by the way, it's open for everyone. But this is all about how you finance, produce, and distribute your film. We'll have expert speakers that will tell you if you're doing a major motion picture or doing a local documentary, how to get it financed, how to get it produced, and I don't mean technically, I mean money-wise and all that, and how to get it distributed. If you want to know more, you can contact my office. Send an email to david.o@phila.gov, G-O-V. And for those who are supportive of our military, our active duty, our veterans, on October the 6th, Friday, October the 6th, I'll be hosting, along with a fantastic host committee, a dinner benefit for the U.S. Army Special Forces. The checks will be written to the Green Beret Foundation, and the proceeds will go to the Children and Dependents of Active Duty and Veteran Green Berets for their scholarship fund. So that'll be in South Philadelphia at the Saigon Maxim Restaurant, 612 Washington Avenue, 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. It'll be a fun event with live music, pipes and drums, and we'll be joined by Governor Rendell, Speaker Mike Turzai, and a host of other people, including some great speakers. So please join us at that event. Well, let me turn my attention to our first guest. That is District Attorney. I was asking, is it like Miss District Attorney or Madam District? I should know that, and at some point I did, but, I just get forgetful. But it's Madam District Attorney, and she was a Philadelphia Assistant District Attorney. She served our city in that capacity from 2004 to 2011 and was the Assistant Chief of the Juvenile Court Unit. She then served at the Pennsylvania State Commission for Violence Prevention Week in wake of the Sandy Hook tragedy, and then was appointed by the governor to an interstate compact for juvenile justice, and recently served at the University of Virginia as the Title IX coordinator. But what happened, as you may know, is that our elected DA, Seth Williams, unfortunately was convicted and unable to serve, and so we were without a DA. There was someone as an acting DA, but it goes in our charter that the Board of Judges filled that position, and there were many, many applicants, some really noteworthy people. But at the end of the day, there was a decision made, and the decision was Kelly Hodge. And so, Madam DA, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, David. It's great to be here.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, when I was reading the paper and looking at all the different people, some of them really super well qualified, yourself among them, I was just wondering, what are the Board of Judges going to do? And while we can't read their minds, let me ask you, you were selected. What is it that you believe you bring to the table that perhaps is unique to you being the DA right now?
I have to agree with you. You can't read their minds. There's 88 of them, and so that would be 88 different individuals that may each have their own, thought process as to what they felt was most important. I would like to think that I brought to the table a sense of balance because I had been a public defender.
Yes.
Early in my career, it was my first job as an attorney when I graduated from law school, was serving as a public defender in Richmond, Virginia. And so that kind of serves as a really good framework for a lot of my first kind of thoughts and processes about the criminal justice system and seeing it from the perspective of those who are accused. So I believe that probably spoke to hopefully many, if not all, of the Board of Judges. And then I had served in the office for a period of time and had served in a variety of roles. Supervisory, line DA, various units, adult side, juvenile side. So I feel like I kind of had probably a breadth of experiences in prosecuting in Philadelphia that exposed me to a great deal of the city, and I think that helped as well. Under two administrations, under Lynn Abraham and under DA Seth Williams.
Yes.
So I had two varied perspectives of how to go ahead and work in that office space. And I think that that may have also, given a sense of she's aware and familiar with the setting and the work and what is really, really relevant to Philadelphia.
I'm going to interrupt because I'm going to guess, and I know you shouldn't, but I can. I'm going to guess that restoring the public faith in the office, restoring the integrity of the office was probably one of the important things that they considered. And let me just say, what a tough job, because you have about 5 months to make an impact or to not make an impact, right? In other words, so if in fact, part of your being selected is to communicate to the public that the integrity of the office, your faith and credibility in this office is solid, and we, the Board of Judges, have selected the right person for this, what is it that you'd like the public to know that you're going to be doing with the District Attorney's Office over the next 5 months?
I said it from the day of my swearing in on July 24th, and I continue to say it and will throughout my tenure in the office. My goal is to depart the office and leave it better than the day I walked in. And as far as having an impact, obviously many different people can gauge what is impactful, whether it's a great impact in the positive or an impact in the negative. I hope to have a positive impact by responding to things that are relevant at a particular time, and I'm speaking to things that, maybe on the national front that affect us at the local level, that are affecting how people feel, whether they feel safe in their environment here in Philadelphia, and also things that maybe aren't necessarily rising to a critical point in this moment in time, but have been long-standing issues like gun violence, the opioid epidemic, those things that have been, I would say, eroding a sense of security in our community for a number of years, that I want to try to go ahead and work on and focus on and see what can this office do, what can I do as leading the office in order to go ahead and kind of bolster efforts to address those specific concerns. So those are the areas that I hope to have impact. I guess I will be judged at the end of my tenure as to how impactful the work I've done has been. But if I leave the office better than the day I walked in, then I will feel that I have had some measure of success.
Well said, and certainly quite a big challenge. I will say that I've had both the candidates, Larry Krasner and Beth Grossman, on the show at separate times. Just trying to hear from them for the public what their vision is, what they want to do. And one of the kind of things that we see in today's world is how very polarized politics is. And we see it across the country. We see it here in our city. And so one of the issues is one of leadership. Because while people have their opinion, and certainly, they're right and it's important that they have it, but someone has to take leadership and bring them together to be constructive and productive. In light of, the different things that we hear and see on television, the things that are out in the news, the protests and all those kind of things, you have the responsibility of ensuring that our good folks, our public servants, our police, are, supported, not afraid to do their jobs, do a wonderful and good job serving the public. And at the same time, we have certainly the voice of Black Lives Matter and other folks saying, hey, the criminal justice system is not fair to African Americans in particular. And so how do you address that in these 5 months, being that you have to get the office, I think 600 people?
Correct.
To basically enact your message.
And I think what you've hit on in the question, you've hit on quite a few critical things. You have the national climate, the conversations that have taken place, particularly over the past few weeks, if not months, that have seemed to really create a wedge amongst people. And I think, for us here in Philadelphia, as Philadelphians in cities and neighborhoods and towns across the country, I believe a lot of what we seek to do and should seek to do, if we want to do it successfully, because I do think that we have way more in common than we have in terms of differences. You can have differing opinions, but at the core of us as human beings, I think we all want to be happy, safe, good health for our families, well wishes to our neighbors and our friends and our community. That's what we all kind of strive for day in and day out when we get out of the bed in the morning. But I think that differences need to be appreciated. People need to voice them, in my opinion, in a constructive way. I think that protesters, Black Lives Matter movement, various other movements and organizations that are coalescing around a point need to be heard. Clearly, they have a position that is meaningful and impactful to us as a whole, and they need to be heard in that regard. I think for me and the position I have and others who sit similar to me, law enforcement and those who are looking to bolster the community and make them feel safer, it's about relationships. I think that we need to take the time to really know what is plaguing a community and what they would like to see, and then allow them to invest in the change that they want to see in their neighborhoods. I think that I can't presume to know what a particular block or street or neighborhood needs unless I listen to those people and find out from them what they feel would be most, the greatest assistance or the support for them. If I go in presuming one thing and I presume the wrong thing, I can obviously create more harm than good, and that would be the same for law enforcement or anyone else. So I think as a leader, you need to listen quite a bit before you go ahead and take steps to enact change, meaningful change. As a leader, you're expected to be able to make that change, and I think that that's critical. I did that when I entered into this position. I took the first really 2 weeks of time to speak to the deputies in my office, to speak to all the chiefs and assistant chiefs in the office, as well as some key external stakeholders that have such a relationship that's intertwined with the office that without them, the district attorney's office could not do what it's tasked to do, which is to enforce the laws of the Commonwealth. I took that time and then basically processed what was told to me and then determined what are the best next steps to have a stable, secure leadership at the top so that people can feel like they walk out the door of the building every day and walk over to the Criminal Justice Center or walk out to a community center, and they are representing the office in a way that seeks fairness and justice for everybody involved.
Right now, you've served under two different administrations.
Correct. Lynn
Abraham, Judge Abraham, tough
yes.
cookie, and Seth Williams, who was our first African-American DA and a relatively young DA when he came into office. What is going to be your legacy, the Kelly Hodge legacy? What are you going to do that's different from what they've done? What is your style? What is your priority? What's your emphasis?
I'm uniquely me. I mean, I guess my legacy may be written by others. As much as I can craft my story, I will do so. I think that I am a thoughtful, deliberate individual. I try to definitely practice what I preach, which is what I shared a moment ago about relationships and listening to people, and trying to hear not just from those that would necessarily be supportive of what I believe may be a good program or policy, but also hear from the naysayers, the ones who have a criticism, because if I don't hear the criticism, what I may believe is the best way to go may not really be effective. And if it's not effective, then it's not going to be helpful. So I hope my legacy is that she came in, she did a good job. She, kind of went and met people where she could find them, and had that relationship with the community and with the stakeholders, to go ahead and make sure that everyone can feel comfortable going to work every day, coming into the city, enjoying what we have to offer, and feeling safe.
Okay, wonderful. Now, I actually was at Point Breeze this past Saturday. Councilman Kenyatta Johnson hosted his Community Appreciation Day. Keisha Coles was there, big crowd of people, all kind of services, and, city services were available. And there you were. So I did see you out there meeting and talking to community members. And when they introduced you, you got a big round of applause. So people, particularly in neighborhoods like Point Breeze, not that they don't know you in other neighborhoods, but I point out Point Breeze because of all the issues that they are dealing with.
Correct.
And so they were happy to see you. They applauded you. And so how did that make you feel?
Wonderful. I mean, I was happy to see them. I think that Point Breeze and the reception that I received and the way that the event, transpired over the day on Saturday with the festivities and the jovial nature and the kids riding ponies and everybody having a really good time, I think that's more indicative of what Philadelphia is as opposed to the unfortunate moments that we see that oftentimes, makes us concerned and worried about things that we should be concerned and worried about, which is, are people able to live in this community safely? And I think that the love and the just overall friendship and just, it was neighbors, helping neighbors, patting each other on the back, dancing with each other, clapping, raising their hands. That's good stuff. That's good feeling stuff. And quite simply put, it's just something that, for me, I know that is more representative of the city of Philadelphia. Point Breeze and communities like Point Breeze are more reflective of the city than, like I said, the moments that we have that, yes, we should be concerned about, but they should not shape and define us.
When we talk about the assistant DA, the prosecutors that are on the front line, will we see something different from them now that you're DA? And if so, what is that? What's that experience going to be with you at the helm as opposed to last year or 2 years ago?
What you will see is them. What you will see is the fact that the work that they've been doing throughout that may have been kind of overshadowed by what was a distraction that they had no role in, that distraction is gone, and you will see them doing the hard work that I know they've been doing for years because I worked alongside many of them. They get up every morning, they come into the office, and they go to the Criminal Justice Center and go out into the community and hope that they are helping people improve their lives. And they do it because they care. So what you will see is you will see them doing the work that I know that they have been doing throughout. And at this point, it should not be overshadowed by anything else. They should just be the ones that are elevated to the focal point in terms of when you think about the district attorney's office, you think about the assistant DAs that are trying the cases every day.
One of your roles, and you might not have bargained for this, but one of your roles now that you are the DA is a political role. In addition to being a law enforcement officer, you are now a political person in the sense that you can endorse or not endorse candidates. And you know where I'm heading with this. And you may say, hey, listen, that's not my role. I'm in here. I'm not going to do that. But have you thought about endorsing candidates?
Well, I will say this. I appreciate you telling me my role. I will shape my own role, and it harkens back to my legacy and how I want to craft my own story. Mm-hmm. I think my role is to focus on moving the office forward and doing the work that the district attorney's office has been designed to do. And I will leave it there. I look forward to working with whomever is elected by the citizens of this city come November. And I think that with me in the position that I am in at this moment, will definitely help to facilitate a smooth and hopefully seamless transition to the next administration. If that's in the best interest of the city, it's in the best interest of the DAs in the office, and obviously will be in the best interest of the candidate who is successful in November, so that he or she can walk into the office in January and know that they're on firm footing.
Okay. Well, listen, that is a wise thing, and I think a lot of people appreciate that perspective. Let me ask you a personal question. You are the first African-American female district attorney. How does that, what does that say to you, and what do you want to say to people about that?
It speaks volumes. I am very humbled and honored by, one, becoming the district attorney, but I cannot and will never lose sight of the larger impact that my position and me being who I am, my gender and my race, and what that presents to the role. I know there are very, very few women who sit similar to me around the country, and very few women who sit similar to me in just as prosecutors. And if I, in any way, shape, form, or fashion, am able to elevate those other women and women of color out there to say, this is what you can do, absolutely. I feel like I'm just an example and probably a vessel for a greater story and message of the capabilities and the experience and the wherewithal we have to go ahead and lead offices such as the one that I'm honored that I'm able to lead.
That's great. Is there something particular that you would like to do to bring not only a woman's perspective, perhaps, or priorities to the office, but also as an African-American woman to bring those perspectives to this office?
I bring the perspective that is uniquely my own, so inherent in that, you see what you get, and that comes with me. I also bring the perspective of, going to Catholic school all my life, going to a single-sex education environment all of my life, having attended a large public university down south. All of those things shaped me, and I bring that in, and I will say that from all of that, I definitely want to hopefully encourage people to feel limitless. That is what I felt through my education and my experiences, to feel that my status as a woman and as an African-American woman does not in any way restrict me or should not restrict me in what I'm able and capable of doing. And I hope that for those DAs that come in this office, promoting diversity, promoting inclusion, promoting individuals whose performance deserves to be acknowledged and elevated will just be for the betterment of the office as a whole, and in turn, a better, result for the criminal justice system.
Well, you're off to a great start.
Thank you.
Certainly a breath of fresh air, as they say. A very positive start to your term and a positive step for our city. So, we wish you the best. Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure, and it's wonderful to see you. And as I said earlier, before we came on air, it's really wonderful to see how you are in recovering and doing wonderfully well, and just appreciate the opportunity you've given me to come out here today and meet with you. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, listen, everybody, stay tuned. After this commercial break, we'll be hearing from and speaking with Natalie Bermudez.
You are listening to In the Know with David O. Informative, substantive, intelligent talk radio on 860 AM WWDB.
If you've suffered an injury from a motor vehicle crash, trip and fall, construction, or work-related accident, contact the Padova firm to speak with John Padova himself. You've heard the name. That's because for over 25 years, John has been winning for his clients. John is dedicated to ensuring his clients are fully compensated. Call 215-893-0700. That's 215-893-0700. Don't suffer more than you have to. Call John Padova today. Help is on the way.
Here at Sonny's Famous Cheesesteaks, we have the utmost respect for the founding fathers of our fair city's most celebrated sandwich. But we also understand the inevitability of time marching on. So come to Sonny's in Old City for a revolutionary take on the classic. And try the cheesesteak that Alan Richmond of GQ magazine named the best in Philadelphia. And declare your inalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of cheesiness. Sonny's Famous Steaks, 228 Market.
My friends, this is Joe Kraus. You've heard me on Philadelphia radio now for over 20 years, and you know I don't often endorse products or people unless they are real game changers. I want to tell you about Weinerman Pain and Wellness, located in Center City, Philadelphia. And at the end of this short personal endorsement, I want you to consider Weinerman Pain and Wellness. If you are recovering from an injury, if you or a family member has been diagnosed with a disorder that has stopped you in your tracks, or if you're like me, determined to learn about wellness while getting yourself prepared to stay healthy so you can enjoy the blessings of your family. Remember the name of this warm and caring location, Weinerman Pain and Wellness. Why should you consider Weinerman Pain and Wellness? Because they are who you expect them to be. Weinerman Pain and Wellness on the web at WeinermanPainandWellness.com.
Weinerman Pain and Wellness, located at 100 South Broad Street, just south of City Hall. Call Weinerman Pain and Wellness at 215-988-9503. That's 215-988-9503. Call today. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the Philly Labor RX Injured Workers Pharmacy Network, featuring PPC Pharmacy, First Choice Pharmacy, and Precision Scripts, providing injured workers with premium products and services from the point of injury through the entire healing process. The Philly Labor RX Pharmacy Network cares about injured workers.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
All right, and we are back. I hope you were listening because we were talking to Philadelphia's new District Attorney Kelly Hodge. What a fascinating background. What a challenging job. But she's positive and up for the challenge, and she's going to leave her mark. Listen, the reason I say that is because you can listen to past shows. You can listen to this show. You got a couple of choices. First of all, you can go to www. Here's some more W's. Okay, I said my 3 W's. www.dbam.org. Is that right? .org, right? No, I'm getting it. .com. .com. All right. Listen, I should know this. Every week I do this. www.am.com. Okay. Or you can go to YouTube and put in the Know with David O, and you can also see video there. My next guest is a singer-songwriter from our region. She's here in Philadelphia. She's originally from Vineland, New Jersey. She graduated from the University Arts, and she attended the Berklee College of Music Songwriting Workshop in Boston, Massachusetts, and the Dive Creative School in Dallas, Texas. She is the winner of a contest in 2012 where she opened for Andy Grammer at the World Cafe Live. She's gone on from there. She is a 2015 PHL Live Center Stage Pop Category Music winner. Her name is Natalie Bermudez, and she is right here. Thanks for joining us, Natalie.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, well, listen, we're going to start with listening to one of your covers, just a portion of it, and this is Michael Jackson, I Want You Back. All right, well, I could listen to that all day long. I mean, that's not only a fantastic song, but a great cover, putting your style into the whole thing. And you do original music as well.
I do.
And in a little bit, we're going to hear one of your songs, Colors. Is that right?
Yes.
And you're going to perform that live. Did you write that song?
Colors? Yes.
Yeah.
And
you know, kind of, what got into this whole songwriting thing?
Yeah, I started writing I wrote when I was a little kid. The songs were terrible. And then when I was in high school, I just wanted to, learn the guitar. Once I learned guitar, I put, my passion for writing out, lyrics and melodies with the guitar. And before I knew it, I was writing breakup songs at first, which most girls start off with.
Breakup songs. I don't know anything about that.
And then I just loved writing and performing and stuck it out.
Wow. And so you have, you kind of knew that you wanted to do this at a pretty early age. Is that right?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
No?
Well, actually, I have a cool story. When I was in, 3rd grade, I remember our teacher had us, draw out what we wanted to be when we were younger, or when we got older, rather.
Yes.
And I drew a teacher, but I remember looking at another girl's picture, and she drew a singer, and I was like, wow, I wish I was, brave enough to do that, or, that's something I would love to do. But now I'm a teacher and a singer, so.
Wow, now you're doing both.
Worked out nicely, yeah.
Wow, what a prophecy, huh?
Yeah.
Well, listen, there is something about you, though, isn't there? I mean, if you had to categorize yourself as to what you bring to the audience, what would you say that is? Because I got something to say, so if you're wrong, I'll let you know. But what would you say it is?
I think I just bring, like a sheer joy that a lot of people don't get from shows or music, that I just want to bring like hope and encouragement, and I get to do that from like a platform where people want to hear me sing, but I also bring something that hopefully they get to take home with them as inspiration, or like more than just a song.
Okay, correct answer. Okay, I have nothing to say. That's about right. Very positive, very fresh, very encouraging, kind of music. But does that work? I mean, have you found that in today's real world of music, and by the way, the commercial nature of music, does positive, fresh, and encouraging, does that work?
It does.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that, because I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But this is your experiencing. You're finding that, hey, there's an audience for this, and everything else, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I've even played at places where, like, positive music per se isn't exactly the norm.
Is that because positive music is, like, not cool? What's going on with that?
Yeah, that's sad. I know.
Yeah, it is sad, isn't it?
I know. It needs to be more of a common thing. We'll get there.
Yeah, I think we will. I remember there was a time when I was a kid where there was positive music. That might have been like the part of the 60s, early 70s. I remember Earth Shoes.
Anybody remember Earth overalls shoes? Again.
Oh, are we? Okay.
I mean,
somebody asked me, in fact, my staff, she was like, hey, they're coming out with these umbrellas that they actually kind of like engulf you in it.
What?
I'm like, oh, that was from the 60s. So what have you been working on recently?
Recently, I've kind of been laying low. I play like little gigs here and there, starting to write again, and hopefully working on a Christmas EP.
Okay.
Which I'm very excited about.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's going to be this Christmas EP? You don't have to tell us all the details, but what are you bringing to it?
Yeah. As far as like flavor and style, I want more like of a jazz style. So
okay.
Michael Bublé's kind of Christmas album meets like classic, like, I don't know, Bing Crosby, like White Christmas kind of vibes.
Wow, Bing Crosby. Listen, there's people out there listening right now saying, that's right.
Yeah,
Bing Crosby,
so.
Yes. For people who want to, kind of check you out, see what's coming, look at your music, perhaps buy some of your music, where do they go?
They can go to www.
W's, yes.
3 W's, .nataliebermudez.com.
And the tricky thing is how to spell it.
I know, my last name. So it's like Bermuda, but no A, and instead E-Z. So NatalieBermudez.
Okay, NatalieBermudez.com.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then I'm mostly on Instagram, too.
Okay. At Natalie Bermudez?
Natalie K. Bermudez.
Natalie K. Bermudez.
Yeah, I threw in my middle initial in there.
Okay, Crystal, right?
Yeah.
There we are.
So,
I
you would win a trivia.
Yeah, hey, listen. I'm a Natalie Bermudez fan.
Oh, you're so cool, David.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Do you have anything particular you want the public to know about anything you're doing right now?
Yeah, well, look out definitely. So on October 14th, I don't have details for this yet, but I'm going to do like a big concert.
Oh, okay.
And I want to have it like a storyteller's night. So getting other people involved as well, telling stories through like a specific way of art. So there are no like solid dates or venues for this yet, but I'm shooting to have that by the end of this week. So that'll be on my website.
Okay, NatalieBermudez.com.
Yes.
Okay, well,
So
there you have it, folks. You've heard it. You just have to go to NatalieBermudez.com and see what's the future holds for the music and for Natalie Bermudez, and check out some of her music as well, right?
Yep.
Well, you're guitar in hand, and so we're going to be treated right now, everybody, to one of Natalie's original songs. She's going to perform it acoustically here, and the song is called Colors. Could you tell us a little bit about the song?
Yeah, I wrote this song with a heart, originally for my younger brother. I just wanted to tell him, like, hey, I see the potential in you. I see, like, the colors. I see what you were created to be and do and to, like, offer the world with your gifts. And I hope that one day you see that, too, that you see the way that you are loved, like you love yourself that way.
All right.
So, yeah.
Perfect.
Colors.
All right. Well, here we are.
Cool.
Everybody, Natalie Bermudez.
Here we go. Here's Colors.
there we are. Look at all the people in our studio. Yeah, they're all clapping. Fantastic. Well, listen, everybody stay tuned because right after this commercial break, we will be back with Rock to the Future.
You are listening to In the Know with David O. Informative, substantive, intelligent talk radio on 860 AM WWDB.
If you've suffered an injury from a motor vehicle crash, trip and fall, construction, or work-related accident, contact the Padova firm to speak with John Padova himself. You've heard the name. That's because for over 25 years, John has been winning for his clients. John is dedicated to ensuring his clients are fully compensated. Call 215-893-0700. That's 215-893-0700. Don't suffer more than you have to. Call John Padova today. Help is on the way.
My friends, this is Joe Krause. You've heard me on Philadelphia radio now for over 20 years, and you know I don't often endorse products or people unless they are real game changers. I want to tell you about Weinerman Pain and Wellness, located in Center City, Philadelphia. And at the end of this short personal endorsement, I want you to consider Weinerman Pain and Wellness. If you are recovering from an injury, if you or a family member has been diagnosed with a disorder that has stopped you in your tracks, or if you're like me, determined to learn about wellness while getting yourself prepared to stay healthy so you can enjoy the blessings of your family. Remember the name of this warm and caring location, Weinerman Pain and Wellness. Why should you consider Weinerman Pain and Wellness? Because they are who you expect them to be. Weinerman Pain and Wellness on the web at WeinermanPainandWellness.com.
Weinerman Pain and Wellness, located at 100 South Broad Street, just south of City Hall. Call Weinerman Pain and Wellness at 215-988-9503. That's 215-988-9503. Call today. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the Philly Labor RX Injured Workers Pharmacy Network, featuring PPC Pharmacy, First Choice Pharmacy, and Precision Scripts, providing injured workers with premium products and services from the point of injury through the entire healing process. The Philly Labor RX Pharmacy Network cares about injured workers.
At any given moment, somewhere in America, a baby is taking a first step, a developmental milestone. But for too many parents, a baby's first steps aren't just a milestone. They're a miracle. These are the parents of babies who were born prematurely or with birth defects. It's a crisis affecting more than 500,000 babies in the United States each year. You can help them by joining volunteers like you who walk in March for Babies. The money you raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Together, our steps make stronger, healthier babies a reality for thousands of families. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org to take the steps that help make milestones and even miracles possible. Who will you march for?
Introducing the YMCA. What, you already know the why? Or so you think. Sure, you know the why for a swim, a workout, even a game of hoops. But did you know we're more than that? We're a cause. When you take your jump shot at the Y, someone else is getting job training. Take a cardio class while kids are in an after-school enrichment program. Practice your downward-facing dog as a teen practices her leadership skills. That's the why. We work with people no matter their age, income, or background and give them the opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive, all with one simple goal in mind, to strengthen our community. And we've got so much more that does just that. So while you might think of the Y as that place for lifting weights, we're also about lifting entire communities. Introducing the Y. We're so much more than a place. We're a cause. Visit ymca.net/more.
All right, we are back. And if you were listening, you heard Natalie Bermudez. You can find out more about her and what she's up to at nataliebermudez.com. And so now we have joining us Jessica and Josh Kraft. They are together at Rock to the Future.
Woo!
All right. Well, welcome to the show.
Excited to be here. Thanks for having us, Councilman O.
Well, listen, thank you for the great work you're doing because, it's kind of interesting to me. You were in financial services and you kind of just upped and left to do this nonprofit thing about music education.
Yeah, that's totally 100% true. But I grew up playing music in Upper Darby School District.
Yes.
So music has always been a part of my life, and starting in third grade, playing the violin, and then clarinet and saxophone, and then drums and the drum line, and then you get a little bit older, you decide that maybe you need to go to college for something that your parents might say you could get a stable career in.
Yes, yeah, that's very wise. I'm a parent, I would say that. Yeah.
And so, I went to Temple for business administration and economics, and I worked for Janney Montgomery Scott as a performance analyst after college, which is
sounds like money to me. Like money to me.
Money. But money's not always passion. And
no, it's not.
Yeah, so wanting to follow my passions, which have always been music, and wanting to give kids an opportunity that I had growing up that they might not have, and living in Philadelphia and seeing that there's not a lot of opportunities for students to learn music, but even if there are opportunities for them to learn music, it's not very frequently group collaboration, original songwriting, performance in a rock band.
Yes.
So the whole premise of Rock to the Future is that we are preparing the next generation for every stage through free and low-cost music programs, which focus on guitar, bass, drums, and piano, original songwriting, collaboration, live performance, and using all of these incredible things to help students stay in school and to succeed and follow their dreams.
Yeah, because the one thing I'll say that I've noticed, because I've been out to your place, is it's a lot of fun. Instead of listen, I took violin when I was young. I can't say it was fun. Listen, I appreciate the worthiness of it, but when kids go there, they're like in a band. They're making music. They're having fun, and it drives them, motivates them, want to learn their instrument better.
Yeah, and I think giving kids the opportunity to have a choice in what they're learning and what they're creating, and especially for teenagers, giving them the control over that process is really important, because that's what keeps kids in our programs for 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Yes.
Keeping them in a safe place where they're also receiving homework support, homework help. And then, we do help with the college application process once they get to high school.
Yes.
So giving them a fun and exciting place, but that still has that structure and requires that dedication.
Yeah, and you've got some pretty, astounding results. Why don't you tell our listeners some of the results of your program?
Yeah, and none of these things, we didn't really think that these things were going to happen when starting Rock to the Future, but over the past 7 years, we have had students that have stayed in our program throughout in their entire stay at middle school and high school. And right now we have 100% of our students that graduate from our after-school program go on to post-secondary education, whether that might be college or trade school, which is pretty incredible because,
yes.
Not many schools are able to say that 100% of their graduates go on to.
And particularly because you're a free program or low-cost program for underserved kids.
Yeah, completely free.
That's not a demographic where that kind of success oftentimes happens.
Absolutely. And these kids, some of the issues that they're facing, it's just astonishing, things that you could never imagine that they're struggling with, whether it be at home, school, within their own selves and their own identity, and giving them a place where they find, a judgment-free zone where they're able to find other people to build positive relationships with through something powerful like music. It's really an incredible experience that I think helps kids overcome a lot of those challenges that they face on an everyday basis, which helps keep them on track to be able to follow their dreams.
Now, before we get into where our listeners can get in touch with you, because they're probably thinking, I got a kid who needs your help. There are requirements, and so the students have to be in grades 6 to 12, right? Mm-hmm. Philadelphia resident, and there is a income requirement. And why don't you tell the listeners about that?
Sure. So For the students that attend the after-school program, it's called our Music Corps after-school program. They have to be in grades 6 through 12. They have to be Philadelphia County residents too, as well. There is an income requirement too. We want to serve like 200% below the poverty level. So we really want to make like a big impact for students that normally wouldn't have these kinds of opportunities to receive instrument lessons or pay for some service like that.
Yes.
Everything. But what you can do if you're interested in applying to the after school program or any of our programs, the first step is to go to rocktothefuture.org. So rocktothefuture.org, and then under our program button on the top or whatever, you can scroll down to the Music Corps After School Program, put your application in there. It does require a $50 deposit, but it's returned at the end of their stay with us in the program after they complete it. But you can always contact us too by calling us as well. And the phone number is on the website there too as well. And just reach out if you have any further questions. Or just email me, josh@rocktothefuture.org. And I'm happy to answer any of the questions you might have.
Pretty simple.
And for people who might not know the limits, for the federal poverty limits, for us, 200% of the federal poverty limit is about $49,000 for a family of 4. And if you do exceed that limit, because we do serve students that exceed that limit, because you might have a parent that is working multiple jobs, single parent household working multiple jobs, maybe slightly over that limit. But those are the kinds of kids that could definitely use some extra support. So they're welcome to just submit a short statement explaining why they could use Rock to the Future programs.
Right. No, that's wonderful because, everybody's situation is different, and there are those kids who truly need it, and there are those kids who, they're just super talented, but they're not offering music in their public high school or their local high school. And so you provide that opportunity. Where are you located, by the way?
We're located in the Fishtown and Kensington section of Philadelphia, so that's North Philly, 19125. And we operate out of St. Michael's Church, which is located on Trenton Avenue, Trenton, Cumberland. And that's for our after-school program, our summer camps, and our newest program, which is going to be our Drop-In Teen Music Lounge, which is launching.
Drop-In Teen Music Lounge.
Yeah, so Teen Music Lounge.
That sounds good.
Starting September 29th through support from the Bartle Foundation. This is just a place every Friday afternoon. If you're between the ages 13 through 17, you can just come in. You don't have to register ahead of time. There are no requiremements to join, no commitment or anything like that. You can come in every Friday, work with a different teaching artist. Maybe it's on hip hop or recording or pedals or, songwriting, any type of thing. Every month we'll feature a different teaching artist.
Wow. So it's almost like a walk-in, right? It's
walk-in program.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic.
To make things even more accessible for kids.
Yeah. So if you're out there, if you're a teenager and you need something to do, if you're a parent saying, hey, my kid needs something to do, walk-in teen lounge.
Yeah, and if you're a teaching artist or a musician and you want to work with teens, then we're also accepting proposals to work with the teachers also.
Till this Friday. So
okay, well, listen, till this Friday, so you better get those applications in. Perfect. And listen, just in the short time that we have left, anything that you want our listeners to know?
I think just, giving kids the opportunity to explore themselves creatively is so important. So it's so important that people are supporting arts and music education in Philadelphia. And we'd like to invite everybody out to our location on October 6th from 4 to 7. We're going to be having an open house. So you can come in and learn about our after-school program, our summer camps, our teen lounge, our in-school classes. You can talk with our students. We'll be running some fun activities. So that's 2139 East Cumberland Street.
All right. Thank you very much. Now listen, everybody, tune in next Tuesday for In the Know with David O.
You've been listening to In the Know with David O. on 860 AM WWDB. Tune in again next Tuesday at 2 p.m. for more informative, substantive, intelligent talk radio with Philadelphia Councilman David O.